Okay, let's talk about one of the oldest and honestly one of the most misunderstood concepts in all of SEO, backlinks. For years, they were basically sold as this magic ticket to the top of Google. But today, well, that old playbook isn't just outdated, it's a recipe for disaster. So I've got to ask you directly, is your SEO strategy stuck in the past? I mean, are you still playing by rules that were written like a decade ago? Because if you are, you're not just spinning your wheels, you could actually be hurting your own website. You see, for the longest time, the SEO world worked on this really simple, kind of brutish logic. More links equals a higher ranking. That's it. It turned into this digital arms race where everyone was just scrambling to get more links than the next guy, no matter where they came from. But here's the thing about that beautiful, simple idea. It could be gamed. What Google intended to be a genuine vote of confidence, a digital handshake, was very quickly turned into a cheap product. The SEO industry figured out how to manufacture these so-called votes on an industrial scale. And this right here, this is a little peek into the dark arts of old school SEO. We're talking about private blog networks. These are entire fake websites built just for linking and automated tools that would just blast your link into comment sections all over the web. It was a massive operation designed to create the illusion of popularity. And then the hammer fell. Google rolled out its Penguin algorithm. This thing was designed specifically to hunt down and punish these manipulative link schemes. And websites that had paid for all these toxic links, they didn't just see their rankings dip, they completely vanished from search results overnight. Some businesses never recovered.
So that huge shakeup brought us to where we are right now. The era of trying to trick the system is over. Today, it is all about what Google wanted from the very beginning: genuine trust and real relevance. Those are the pillars of modern SEO.
So what does a valuable backlink even look like today? It's pretty simple, actually. It's a genuine signal of trust from another site. It's not something you can buy from a spreadsheet. It's a recommendation you have to earn by being good at what you do. And I love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. You can totally pay for the appearance of popularity, right? You can buy the sound of applause, but you can never, ever buy genuine trust. And without that trust, those links are just hollow. And make no mistake about it, Google's algorithms today are light years ahead of just counting links. They understand context. They can see the intent of the page linking to you. They know if your niches actually align. They can spot unnatural growth patterns from a mile away. Okay, so this is probably the single most important distinction to get your head around. It's the difference between a link that reflects real-world credibility and one that's just a digital mirage. This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the link factory, just pumping out irrelevant, automated junk. And on the right, you have something more like an organic tree, links that grow naturally from real relationships and genuine credibility. One of these gets you penalized, the other gets you ranked. So what do these high-value links look like in the real world? Well, they come from real-world events. A journalist quoting you as an expert in an article. A business partner linking to a project you collaborated on. A university citing a study you published. Each one of these tells Google that you're a trusted entity. And here's the big one. Please stop obsessing over third-party metrics like domain authority or DA. Google has said out loud that they do not use it. A link from a tiny, super niche blog that's highly relevant to your business is worth way more than a dozen links from some high DA site that has nothing to do with you. Relevance is everything. Okay, so let's get practical. How do you figure out where you actually stand right now, and how do you start building a healthier link profile for the future? Well, it all starts with auditing your past. So, first things first, you do not need some expensive, complicated tool for this initial step. The single most accurate and trustworthy source for what Google knows about your site is, well, it's Google's own free tool, Google Search Console. It shows you exactly what links Google is actually paying attention to. The process is basically a health checkup for your website. You're going to open up Google Search Console, that's your source of truth. Dive into the links report, and you're going to have to put on your detective hat. Go through your top linking sites and just ask the simple question, does this link actually make sense? Is this site relevant, or does it kind of have the smell of an old paid-for link from some shady network? And as a general rule of thumb, you can kind of gauge your risk. If the vast majority of your links, let's say over 70%, are clearly natural and earned, you're probably in great shape. But if you're looking at a 50-50 split, or even worse, it's time to be concerned. You could be sitting on a ticking time bomb.
So, if you're not building links anymore, what in the world should you be doing? The answer is actually really simple. Build your reputation. Create amazing content that actually helps people solve their problems. Build real relationships in your industry. The links, they'll come as a natural result of doing all that great work.
At the end of the day, your online reputation isn't so different from your offline one. You build it slowly, over time, by being honest, by being consistent, and by making real contributions to your community and your industry. And all of this brings us to the single most important thing I want you to take away from this. If you remember nothing else, please remember this. Backlinks are not a strategy. They are a result of great work, of a strong reputation, of being a trusted, authoritative voice in your field. You don't chase them, you earn them as a byproduct of your actions. So, I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. Take a good, hard look at your business, your content, your relationships. What result is your reputation creating?